Once upon a time, in a valley painted with the greenest greens and kissed by the bluest skies, lay a farm called Meadowbrook. Daisy was no ordinary cow. While her sisters were content with munching on clover, Daisy was a dreamer. Rusty, on the other hand, was a whirlwind of joyful energy. His job was to help Farmer McGregor with the sheep. A sudden thunderstorm had rolled in. With a gentle nudge of her strong head, she guided both Rusty and the frightened lambs safely to the bank. Rusty would tell Daisy stories of his adventures herding the sheep. Daisy, in turn, would share her dreams of the mountains. One crisp autumn morning, a shadow fell over Meadowbrook Farm. A big competition was being held in the town at the foot of the mountains, the annual Great Valley Fair. The whole farm buzzed with excitement, but Daisy felt a pang of sadness. She longed to go, to see the colorful stalls, hear the cheerful music. Seeing his friend's downcast eyes, Rusty nudged her with his wet nose. "What's wrong, Daisy?" he barked softly. A determined glint sparked in Rusty's amber eyes. "Then we'll go," he declared with a confident yip. The morning of the fair, before the rooster had even thought about crowing, Daisy and Rusty set off. For the first time, Daisy felt the thrill of an adventure of her very own. Their journey was filled with wonders. They saw a family of deer drinking from a sparkling stream, their antlers like polished branches. They met a grumpy badger who, after a bit of coaxing from Rusty, pointed them in the right direction. The grumpy badger who, after a bit of coaxing from Rusty, pointed them in the right direction. Daisy even got to see a field of sunflowers, their bright yellow faces all turned towards the rising sun, just as she had imagined. As they rounded a bend, they came across a wide, babbling brook. It was too wide for Daisy to jump over. For a moment, Daisy's courage faltered. "Maybe this was a bad idea," she murmured, her ears drooping. "Nonsense," Rusty barked, his optimism a beacon of hope. He spotted a large, fallen log that stretched most of the way across the brook. It was a makeshift bridge. With a few encouraging yips, Rusty showed Daisy how to carefully place her hooves on the sturdy log. Step by cautious step, with Rusty trotting ahead to show her the way, Daisy made it to the other side. She had faced her fear. As they continued, the sounds of the fair grew louder. The distant notes of a merry-go-round and the cheerful chatter of people filled the air. When they finally arrived, the fair was a kaleidoscope of color and activity. Daisy had never seen anything so wonderful. There were stalls overflowing with gleaming red apples and golden honey. They wandered through the crowds, taking in all the sights and sounds. Children with painted faces laughed as they chased after bubbles. And in the center of it all was a magnificent Ferris wheel. They watched a puppet show that made them both giggle, and they shared a juicy apple that a kind vendor had given them. Then they saw it. It was even more beautiful than they had imagined, its surface gleaming under the lights. Suddenly, a commotion erupted near the entrance. A flock of geese, spooked by the loud noises of the fair, had gotten loose and were causing chaos. Without a moment's hesitation, Rusty sprang into action. He zipped and darted, his herding instincts taking over. Meanwhile, Daisy noticed a little girl who had been separated from her parents in the confusion. The girl was crying, her face streaked with tears. Daisy, with her calm and gentle nature, slowly approached the child. She lowered her big head and let out a soft, comforting moo. The little girl, mesmerized by the kind-faced cow, stopped crying and reached out a small hand to stroke Daisy's soft nose. Soon, the girl's parents, who had been frantically searching, spotted them. They rushed over, their faces filled with relief. By the time Rusty had successfully herded the last of the geese, a small crowd had gathered. The fair organizer, a jolly man with a big mustache, came over to see what all the fuss was about. Later that afternoon, it was time to announce the winner of the silver bell. The fair organizer had a special announcement to make. He spoke of the importance of community, courage, and kindness. And then, to everyone's surprise, he called Daisy and Rusty to the stage. He declared that the true spirit of the fair was about friendship and helping one another. The crowd erupted in cheers as the bell was carefully placed around Daisy's neck. And so, that year, the silver bell was awarded not to a pumpkin but to a cow and a dog. It chimed with a clear, beautiful sound that echoed through the valley. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the mountains, Daisy and Rusty made their way back to Meadowbrook Farm. The silver bell chimed softly with every step Daisy took. She had been on an adventure, had seen new places, and had discovered a bravery within herself that she never knew she had. "You were very brave today, Daisy," he murmured sleepily. "We were brave," she corrected him softly. "And it was all thanks to you." It was a promise of more adventures to come. A reminder that the greatest treasures are not always the ones you can see, but the ones you feel in your heart. If you love this story and want to hear more magical adventures, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a tale. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next story.